Miklos Fodor presenting a repeated rapid restructuring paradigm. In this presentation I will talk about time, especially the time in case of living systems. So we can also say that the topic is biological time. Before I start with the time as such, I would like just to make a short introduction on the hierarchy of living creatures. What was presented in a previous chapter, just to remind those who are listening to this presentation. So each living system is built from smaller living systems. If you take an organ, that's built by cells, and a human being is built by organs, and the humans are building the society or a group or a couple. This is very important because when we are defining time, contrary to the previous approaches, I would like to emphasize the fact that each living system has its own time. So if this is a human being, this smaller circles are its organs, and the even smaller ones are the cells, then we can say that the human being's time is different from the time of this cell. Yes. So why I'm saying this? Because time, even if the philosophers are emphasizing the time as an independent entity, or a notion that it's like the space, it's independent from everything, that can be true. We will see how we can define time in a formal way, but the perception of time is depending on the system itself, which is perceiving the time as it passes. To perceive something, for example, the time, you have to have sensors to do that, and a kind of memory. An ability to count, a very primitive ability of counting is needed in order to have the ability to perceive the time. Justify these are different as a rhythm, then you have to be able to say that this was later than this one, or this one is earlier happened than this one. It's not fully, you don't have to count that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. But to see the order, that's important. What can be a time from a system's point of view? A system, and especially the sensors of the time sensors of that system, if such exist, is able to differentiate different status of that system. So let's take, you might remember that the way how this subsystems of the whole systems are linked defines what transformation this living system is able to do. So here comes an input, depending on how the information can flow over the system, the different outputs can be built, and how the information can flow depending on how its subsystems are built. So very important is how systems are linked to each other. And as we know about, as the paradigm title is also rapid repeated restructuring, is that these subsystems, and maybe I have to draw now some more, these subsystems can be linked this way, say, and this is a status, state 1 of this green system. State 2 is when instead of this and this, you can find maybe this and maybe this. So the first was status number 1, and the second, what you currently are seeing, is status number 2. So the time points, what can be perceived as such is the status number 1, the change of the status, so that this is 1, that 1 is not existing, and then new setup, a new pattern has been evolved. The pace of how fast these links can change and switch is setting how fast the time passes. Because if nothing changes, nothing changes. If we take this, the internal structure of this green system, as something steady and unchangeable or unchanging, then the time is also has stopped. Only the information flow can set or can give a clue to the system that the time has changed or time has passed. So in order to have the time perceived as a changed one, these links have to change also. Different subsystems or different systems, different living systems, vary depending on how these links can change faster and slower. For example, a neuron organ or a neural network performs many or has many setups or patterns, linkage patterns within 1 second. So for a neural network, the time passes much faster than, for example, in a group where the meetings, the phase 1 or a school class, the fact that they meet day 1 and day 2 and every day, but day by day, the internal structure of that school class has a much slower pace. So even if student A and student B wants to become friends, and let's say that they are able to become friends only if they are sitting close to each other, and then they can change their sitting place each day, then the restructuring of the class is can happen on a day-to-day basis. So a class as a living system, as time is changing much slower comparing to a neural network. So what is the life of a living system? We have discussed in a previous chapter, and is definitely from the very first setup where information could flow through this system, is the birth of a living system. The death of the living system is when it falls into parts, because these links are seized, and each subsystem becomes either independent or part of another system. So that's the lifespan. The time itself is compared to this one. The next question is that, am I saying that all the philosophers who say that the notion of time is something independent from the human beings, and it's something similar to space, that it should be false? My answer is yes and no, but I would like to discuss this next chapter, and the answer will be strictly related to a notion what is discussed in a previous chapter, which is called cooperative constructivism, where we discuss how cooperation is constructing a reality for each person that is participating in that cooperation. Thank you very much for the attention.